This baby is rice-skinned, but not light-skinned. That is a white child. That is Caucasian from the mountains of Caucasus. That is a Slavic baby, a Viking from Iceland. That's a good, that baby got 730 as a credit rating right now as an infant.
And I found some research on this picture. It was a picture of a 69-year-old trucker. It was a woman who used to drive trucks, and she drove trucks for 28 years. And she obviously sat in the same seat every time. So half of her skin received UV rays and the other one didn't for, I guess, 28 years. So I'm going to insert the picture here so you guys can see. So this is the effect of 28 years of sun damage with no sunscreen.
A study found that Black women's skin typically ages about 10 years slower than white women's skin. Here's why. Human skin has 3 layers: the epidermis, the dermis, and the hypodermis. Melanocytes in the epidermis produce melanin, a natural skin pigment. Melanin blocks UV rays, which can accelerate the aging process. Black men and women produce more melanin in their skin, which results in darker pigments. The more melanin in your skin, the more protection you have against the harmful effects of sun exposure. Too much exposure to UV rays can cause skin to age quicker, resulting in wrinkles and sunspots. Since white women produce less melanin, they can show signs of aging faster. This doesn't mean that Black women won't experience skin aging. It just happens at a slower rate.
Hey guys, I know we're all outside enjoying the sun, but you're probably not thinking about sunscreen for, of all things, your hair.
The sun, as humans, we have such a complex relationship with it. We need it, we love it, and it can also be our worst enemy. Every time 68-year-old Madeline Cook walked in the sun, she felt it.
I find that when I go out in the sun, that my scalp is actually burning from the sun penetrating through my hair.
It landed her in the office of Dr. Mark Berkowitz of Accents Cosmetic Surgery and Medical Spa in Sterling Heights.
She, in the past, has had some small growths that we've removed. She also has some thinning within her hair over here too, and that's an area that can easily burn.
He says while many of us pay attention to the sun's effects on our faces, arms, and legs, we're missing a very important spot: our scalps.
What ends up happening is the sun can come right through. The UVA rays can break down the elastin. The UVB rays can cause the burn that we get. And a scalp burn is really a terrible thing because it can lead to breakdown where you can get skin cancers growing as well. Then, because you do have hair that does cover a little bit, if you do get a growth, you probably wouldn't even notice the growth there. And so some of these skin cancers aren't found until they're larger within the scalp itself.
And that's why when protecting against the sun, we have to use what hair we have as an ally and then take extra precautions.
You can just spray it in.
There are special sunblock sprays for hair.
And then just massage it in.
Why is protecting your scalp such serious business?
More people will end up with skin cancer from sun damage than people will end up with lung cancer from smoking.
Getting that glowing tan skin comes at a high price. With trips to the beach and the pool, fun in the sun is what summer is all about. That is until Helios unleashes his UV-filled wrath on those who neglect to wear sunscreen. Without sunscreen, the skin is at risk to a host of problems, ranging from a harsh sunburn to skin cancer. There are two types of UV rays that harm the skin: UVA and UVB. UVA rays cause skin to age. They penetrate deep into the dermis, where they damage collagen that makes skin elastic and smooth, resulting in wrinkles. UVA rays also indirectly damage DNA. They generate free radicals, such as reactive oxygen species, which in turn cause DNA mutations. UVB rays directly damage DNA and cause sunburn. Damaged skin cells trigger an inflammatory response, which is the source of the sunburn's redness. Cells beyond repair die off, causing the sunburn to peel. In cells that don't die, unrepaired DNA damage caused by UVA or UVB rays can accumulate and lead to skin cancer. Sunscreen protects the skin from UVA and UVB rays. It contains UV filters, which form a protective barrier over the skin by either absorbing or reflecting UV rays. To increase its ability to block UV rays, researchers are currently working on adding antioxidants to sunscreen.
Sunburned kids hospitalized after daycare forgets sunscreen. An Oklahoma mother is filing a police report against a children's daycare center after her kids received severe sunburns following a day at a local miniature water park. Employees of Happiness is a Learning Center, a daycare in Veneta, Oklahoma, took the children to a splash pad but didn't bring sunscreen. The heat index that day neared 118 degrees Fahrenheit, the family claimed. The mother picked the boys up at 5 p.m. and she says they were clearly sunburned. According to the mother, daycare employees actually made fun of the boys when they saw their condition and said the oldest kid was being a baby and crying about it. The brothers were taken to 3 different area hospitals over the weekend as their symptoms grew more intense. The kids were eventually airlifted to a children's hospital in Texas. Connor, the oldest, suffered 3rd-degree burns, while brother Trey had 2nd-degree burns.
Runner gets herself a really nice, juicy leg tan. A long-distance runner in the UK got a bit more than she bargained for after running a brutal 69-mile marathon in the hot, baking sun. Mother Julie Nisbet was participating in a coast-to-coast run between Carlisle and Newcastle along Hadrian's Wall in an event titled The Wall. Nisbet says she put on sunscreen before the race, but didn't reapply during the run. Unfortunately for her, running for 21 hours in temperatures hovering around 30 degrees Celsius under a blazing sun probably wasn't the best thing for her mayonnaise-colored skin. After the mega run, she started seeing small sacks of pus pop up all over her sunburnt calves. The small sacks then turned into huge water balloons filled with orange pus. Thirsty, anyone? The 11-time marathon runner is now chilling and recovering at home, but says she plans to run again.
When ultraviolet sunlight hits our skin, it affects each of us a little differently. Depending on skin color, it'll take only minutes of exposure to turn one person beetroot pink, while another requires hours to experience the slightest change. So what's to account for that difference? It all centers around melanin, the pigment that gives skin and hair its color. This ingredient comes from skin cells called melanocytes and takes two basic forms. There's eumelanin, which gives rise to a range of brown skin tones as well as black, brown, and blonde hair, and pheomelanin, which causes the reddish browns of freckles and red hair. When skin is exposed to UV for long periods of time, the UV light damages the DNA within our cells, and skin starts to burn. If that damage is severe enough, the cell's mutations can lead to melanoma, a deadly cancer that forms in the skin's melanocytes. Sunscreen as we know it today didn't exist 50,000 years ago. So how did our ancestors cope with this onslaught of UV? The key to survival lay in their own personal sunscreen, manufactured beneath the skin, melanin. The type and amount of melanin in your skin determines whether you'll be more or less protected from the sun. This comes down to the skin's response as sunlight strikes it. When it's exposed to UV light, that triggers special light-sensitive receptors called rhodopsin, which stimulate the production of melanin to shield cells from damage. For light-skinned people, that extra melanin darkens their skin and produces a tan. Over the course of generations, humans living at the sun-saturated latitudes in Africa adapted to have a higher melanin production threshold and more eumelanin, giving skin a darker tone. This built-in sun shield helped protect them from melanoma, likely making them evolutionarily fitter and capable of passing this useful trait on to new generations.
People with fair skin are a lot more susceptible to skin cancers such as basal cell and squamous cell carcinoma. So people with fair skin really have to pay a lot of attention to sun protection. So if you are someone with blonde hair, blue-eyed, or redhead and blue-eyed, you really want to go above and beyond protecting your skin. Make sure you're using really good sun protection. Physical blocker sun protections like zinc oxide and titanium dioxide are very helpful, and seeking shade when you can and using sun protective clothing will really help protect your skin. Fair skin is sometimes, but not always, more sensitive. You just have to go the extra mile in terms of protecting yourself against the sun and chemicals that you may react to.
I won't live up to any expectations. What you see is what you get. And worse yet, I can't give an explanation for why it's gray on your side. Better yet, I'll give
I am very fair, so I'm extremely diligent about SPF and wear sunscreen every day, rain or shine.
Anytime I think I'm going to be outdoors for a long period of time with a lot of skin exposure, I will wear it, but not every day.
When I'm on vacation, if I'm like going to a beach, I'm really good at it. I'll like coat myself in sunscreen.
Not at all. Not anywhere or anytime.
Oh, pretty good.
Oh my gosh. Oh my god.
So much more freckly than I anticipated.
It's pretty scary. It's like wearing a mask.
They should.
Give us a hand print. Give us a hand print, Bridget. That looked pretty cool.
Oh, this is crazy. This is really mind-blowingly weird.
Looks like I'm applying a mud mask.